Hey everybody, it's NmMindstorm, and today I just kind of wanted to introduce you to this new series I'm doing on my channel. Let me just start by saying sorry for the lack of intro on this video. I don't really want to do too much editing for this, because I just think it's already got a nice little setup right here, and I feel like if I try to edit this video will just never be uploaded. Anyway, let's jump into this video. There's a bunch of stuff on this table here, and we're going to be talking about all of it. Well, I mean, minus the broken subscribe button and the TV. But other than that, we will be talking about basically all of it, and starting from left and going to the very, very right. So, let's just get into this. Well, maybe not starting from left and going to right. We're gonna start with the thing in the middle, obviously, the Nintendo Switch. So the Nintendo Switch was released on March 3rd this year, and I waited in line for 3 hours with a friend to get this system, and then it got an orange screen, so then I decided to go and get another one, and that's what happened. The first one that I got had red and blue Joy-Con, which was pretty cool, but the gray is admittedly a little bit more pleasing to look at, because when you have red on the right and blue on the left, it can kind of start to bother you a little bit. That's just beside the point anyway. The Nintendo Switch is a great system, but it didn't have a very large selection of launch titles. A couple that I know of are 1-2 Switch and Legend of Zelda, and I do not know if Super Bomberman R or games like that were launch titles, but the two that I just said, that I definitely know were launch titles. And those were basically the only two games I had when I first started playing the Switch. So, starting with 1-2 Switch on the left, we are talking about this nice little party game with a bunch of mini-games in it, like ball count, or, I don't know, there's this one with the guitar, and it's pretty cool. It's a little bit empty of a game, and when I got it, obviously, it was a little bit expensive. I think it was $40, something like that. It was maybe $40 or $50, and it's basically like an over-glorified version of like Wii Sports or something like that, which I think are now out there for almost $20. So it's okay. There aren't any like 3D graphics in the game. It's all just pictures and pre-rendered videos of like how to do these cool different things in these mini-games. The marble game is fun, trying to guess how many are in the box, because the Joy-Cons actually have HD Rumble in them on the Nintendo Switch, which is a really cool feature. So I guess basically to sum up the game, it's essentially a gigantic show-off of what the Nintendo Switch can do that's new, at least, besides the graphics, of course. And if you want to talk about the graphics, then next you've got Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, which I think says everything it needs to, just by the title. It's a Zelda game. Remember the last one? Most Zelda games nowadays try to go for graphics, and this one just absolutely hit it home. It's an amazing game, but believe this was originally made for the Wii U, and when the Switch was announced, they decided to port it to that as well as a launch title. So the graphics from Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild can actually run on the Wii U, meaning that they don't 100% show off the Switch's capability. Obviously, it's much slower, maybe like a couple more problems on the Wii U, but it was designed to run on the Wii U, and it still kind of does just fine. Obviously, it does much better on the Switch, but that's beside the point. It's got some nice in-game qualities. You can, like, there's so much you can do. There are a bunch of quests. You can just go and beat the game, but why bother? I mean, there's so much to do. I almost tried to go and just beat the game, but then I decided not to because I hadn't been following with the quests at all. All I'd been doing is running around and getting shrines. Not shines. This is not Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Shine Thief. Anyway, next game is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Wow, okay. Anyway, this has some pretty cool stuff in it. It's got new modes, like Battle Mode is completely redesigned. Nintendo just did away with the old Battle Mode because it was just so bad, and I think they knew that because lots of fans were sending them hate about that. Like, you've got other Mario Kart games like Mario Kart DS, which has its own original battle maps. It has Shine Runners, which isn't Shine Thief, but it's Shine Runners, so you have to actually just collect as many shines as you can. And then there's like a balloon battle, and like a Coin Runners, I think, is on the Wii. But in Mario Kart 8 for the Wii U, it was just a balloon battle. And I don't know if there was a Coin Runners, but it was really just a balloon battle in a few of the tracks that they just said, you know what, you're gonna battle here. It's the original tracks from Mario Kart 8, and they didn't design any battle maps, which really disappointed people. And people thought that in the DLC they might be able to find some of that, but they didn't. Which is why Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is so much better, because it has those cool battle maps. It has, my favorite one is Lunar Colony. Some people are annoyed at me for choosing it so many times whenever I play with them. And it's also got a battle map such as, I don't know, Woohoo Town. I don't know, it's like a plaza area. There's a Dragon Palace. Lots of places. There's obviously an original Mario Kart stadium or battle stadium for it as well, and there are no new racetracks in this game, which is a little bit disappointing, but hey, there's already 48, so don't know what else you really want, unless you wanted them all to be different, like a completely separate Mario Kart game, which is a little bit closer to what I was hoping, but this is still kind of cool. It is basically a port of Mario Kart 8, obviously. Like I said, it adds the battle stuff. It also adds some new characters, like Bowser Jr. and Dry Bones and King Boo. It's got Inkling Boy and Inkling Girl as well. It has a couple new carts. It adds the DLC carts from the last game, as well as the Mercedes-Benz cars as well. I don't know why they did that. It was just basically a sponsor. Also, this game, what else was I gonna say about it? It's got a couple, like, it has double items. That's what I was gonna say. Double items was used originally in Mario Kart Double Dash because there were two people in the car. But the cool thing about double items in Mario Kart Double Dash was the fact that you could switch off. In this one, you can't switch your items, which is kind of weird because it's on the Nintendo Switch. Okay, that was a little bit of a pun, but please forgive me. I do like the double items, but it's completely pointless when you can't, like, say you have a coin and then a banana, or actually, how about this? Say you have a red shell. No, an air horn and a banana. An air horn is the closest thing for you to use. It would be the next thing you use. So, say then a red shell's coming for you and you're in first place. You use the air horn to dodge the red shell, but then a blue shell's coming for you. And what are you left with? A banana. You can't dodge a blue shell with a banana. If you could switch your items, you could have switched it so that the banana would be the next thing you use to block the red shell, and then when the blue shell came for you, you could use the air horn to get rid of it, and that would work perfectly, which is why I'm kind of sad that you can't. But anyway, next game is ARMS. This is definitely an original Nintendo IP, but I think it's since dropped in price. I'm not exactly sure about that. I heard something about it. I believe I saw it in stores with a dropped price. I'm not sure. Do not quote me on that. But if it does have a dropped price, that's really disappointing because Nintendo only really drops the prices of games that they don't want to keep as an IP. And sure, ARMS would be good as a one-time game, but I don't know, maybe a sequel would be good for the future. At least don't completely eliminate the possibility yet. It's got some, very interesting and unique characters. Oh, but also like characters like Helix or Bite and Bark or Ninjara. Just a never-ending stream of very strange characters. But, I mean, that kind of goes hand in hand with its originality. I mean, it's a game where you have springs for arms. In terms of game modes, it has V-Ball, which is volleyball, and hoops, which is basketball, but you dunk each other, and, well, sorry, V-Ball is exploding volleyball. It also has, like, I think, a Grand Prix Mario Kart much, and, other modes, like, I think there's, like, 1v1 or something like that. Obviously, there's another mode that I'm forgetting. I don't know exactly what it's called right now. I actually haven't played that one yet. So, yeah. But it's a fun game. It's got, I think you can unlock fists for your arms, I'm not sure. But it's got a lot to do, which is all I really look for in a new game that Nintendo is officially licensing. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. So, you'd think the next thing I'm going to be talking about is Splatoon 2, but first I'm going to be talking about the Pro Controller that's in the middle there, leaning against the case with the Nintendo Switch on it. So, this Pro Controller is $70, which is extremely expensive, but almost worth it. And I say almost because it is a great controller. It has motion controls, which is already better than almost every Pro Controller that is out there. And also, I believe the right joystick has an amiibo reader. This Pro Controller has an amiibo reader and motion controls. So $70, yeah, sure, I'll fork it over, but, I mean, if Nintendo could lower the price on this, I would be kind of happy with that, because a lot of people would buy it, and a lot more people would buy it if they dropped the price. Like, a lot of people are just on the line about it, and I think if Nintendo just brought it down to 50 or 60, then that would be enough to get them. So, come on, Nintendo, you can do that. I'm kind of bringing this chair in the way of the camera. I'm not trying to do that. I'll move it. Anyway, next is obviously the one and only... Okay, I'm not zooming into the correct spot. Splatoon! I thought I could, like, zoom in and then pan over to it, but I guess not. Whatever. So Splatoon 2. It is very, very, very extremely fun and addicting, but there's only one tiny thing about it, which is a little bit kind of disappointing. I was playing this game, I was playing the Splatfest one time, and I had one of my friends downstairs with me, and he basically said, are you playing Splatoon? And I'm like, well, I'm playing the Splatoon 2 Splatfest. And he's like, this is the second game? And I was like, well, yeah, basically, because it's the Splatfest. He's like, this looks exactly like the first game. And he made a very, very interesting point. I kind of feel like at this point, Splatoon 2 is to Splatoon as Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is to Mario Kart. It's almost a port. But, I mean, besides that, it does have some originality to it. Like, it's got a different story for the single-player mode, and it definitely has better game modes. It has a league play now, which is for people who are rank B- or higher, which almost nobody is right now, because this is the second day of its release. And another thing is it's got some fun online modes. Obviously, it has Rainmaker, Tower Control, and, wow, I'm stupid. Okay, Splat Zones. And also it has a new mode that's Salmon Run, which I don't know exactly what it is yet. I do know they added some stuff to the old modes, like they, in Tower Control, added checkpoints, which you have to wait at before you can keep moving the tower toward the other team's base, which kind of makes it a little bit more difficult, but it also makes it a more fun experience. It makes it more of a challenge, so that can be looked at positively, but I mean, when you're playing online, let me just say, it's very, very smooth, and everything looks really nice. But I think to get that niceness and that smoothness and those amazing graphics sacrifices something. And what I mean by that is it sacrifices the accuracy of the game, because there is a little bit of lag online. Now, some YouTubers who have made their opinions about this game clear have said, oh, wow, it's just perfect, there's no lag whatsoever. I feel like the game just tries to hide the lag. Kind of like Mario Kart 8 does, like when you throw a shell at someone and it hits them, but they don't flip over or slow down, and then you suddenly see them teleport somewhere else. The reason that they didn't flip over or slow down is because they were actually that somewhere else the whole time. And your game was just being slow, and it still showed them driving in the path they were going before. And I feel like in this game that happens a little bit, because I was shooting someone who was shooting a wall, and they didn't die, and then boom, they teleported somewhere else, so that's why they didn't die. Eventually I got them, but you see my point here. There is a little bit sacrificed, but the game looks amazing. It has actually higher polygons than the first game, which I'm surprised at, because the first game only ran, even on TV, at a solid 720p on the Wii U. Some Wii U games, I believe, were 1080 on the TV. I'm not completely sure about that, but the Wii U's resolution, native resolution is 720p, and it ran it at a solid 720p on the TV, which was okay because the Wii U couldn't do as much, but this runs it at 1080p, and it looks amazing, and it does amazingly. One thing I noticed is that in the first game, the lobby, or just the area where you can run around, where all the shops and the online mode are, was 60 frames per second in the first game. I don't know if that was a good sentence, but whatever. It was 60 frames per second in the first game, and then in this game, the Inkopolis, I don't know if it's called that anymore, but it's 30 frames per second. They basically did a frame drop because, you know, it looks so nice, and it has to keep running it without choking. So I guess Nintendo knew what they were doing with that, but it's just a little bit choppy when you look at it. Other than that, it's got, like, it doesn't have 1v1 anymore, so you can't play with someone who doesn't have a Switch and the game. But it does have wireless play, which I don't know if it supports 8 players.